We're super excited to have you. My name is Christina. I'm on the marketing team. And today we're going to cover how to master the Poshmark basics if you're just starting out or need a quick refresher. So how many of you guys have been on Poshmark for less than a year? Woo! Welcome! How many of you have 10 listings or less? Okay, I see you. Well, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Let's start by meeting our rock star panel of seller stylists. Ladies.
Hi everyone, I'm Ebony, SkirtsSewPretty on YouTube, SkirtsSewPretty on Instagram, SkirtsSewPretty on the Poshmark Closet. I am a self-taught seamstress and designer.
She made her dress.
I made my dress. And it got I am a foster mommy. I am a boss bee. So hey everybody, I'm happy to be. Oh, you know what? I have been poshing for a year. If I can do it, y'all can do it here. And I'm so glad that y'all are here today so we can give y'all some dope tips.
I'm Ashley. My closet, Instagram, everything is everyday style. I've been on Poshmark since day one. I was a beta tester for the app, so I know a lot, and I also have some really good stories if you guys want to find me later. And I live in Austin, Texas. And I didn't make my outfit.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm Requisite Thread on Posh as well as on Instagram. I'm somewhere between these two. Been about 2.5, 3 years. My mom, who's sitting front and center right here, got me started. And basically, I'm a fashion and deal addict who lives to thrift, and Posh is my favorite enabler.
So we're in good company today. Let's get started. So you guys have heard a picture is worth 1,000 words, which brings us to our first topic, cover shots. Ebony, could you walk us through what cover shots are and why they matter so much?
Cover shots is, if you ask me, the number one thing on your listing that you should be concerned about. Cover shots is the first photo that someone sees when they're looking at your item that's coming up in the feed. So you want to make sure that this item can be seen. You want to make sure your lighting is good. You want to make sure that it's pressed with no wrinkles. Because put yourself into the buyer's shoes. How would you feel knowing that this cover shot, this picture is against something a dark background with wrinkles? Would you feel comfortable? Even though it might, let's say, be a Prada blouse that's marked high, would you feel comfortable buying this item? So cover shots are so important. You know what? You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to, go buy a fancy camera. I always say, if you have a smartphone, take your picture in a well-lit area. Take your picture maybe outside. Take your picture against a blank background. And you can also use photo editing apps, and you can also use just the editing functions in your phone to brighten the picture. But you want to give the best cover shot that you can give to make sure that more eyes is seeing your item and that people will feel comfortable shopping in your closet.
Cover shots are very, very important.
Very.
And that brightening tool on your iPhone app, also very helpful.
Very.
Ashley, I know that you've experimented with a few different types of cover shot styles, and if you guys aren't familiar, there are flat lays where people fold the items and place them out. It takes like 1.5 years to do one. The model photo, and people are like, can you model this item? That's the other option. And then hanger photos, there's also options on mannequins. So tell us about how your style has changed and what you've picked.
I actually do all of those. I know some people have one specific look, like it'll only have it hanging up, or they'll just use a dress form, or they'll just model it. I do mine whatever makes the garment look best and what makes it shine. Like if something looks good on me, I usually end up wanting to keep it, but I will model it, or if it looks good on a hanger, I'll do that. And I do have a dress form, and I think as long as the look of your closet still looks consistent, you can use different forms. And if you do want to just have flat lays, go ahead and do that if you do want to model it. I would go ahead and experiment with different ones and just see what is efficient for you and easy for you. And if you really want to do flat lays but you're not good at them, try doing something else. And you just kind of want to do what's fast and quickest and easiest to get your photos done quickly.
Also, pro tip, if you're on Instagram or take photos of anything that you're wearing, just make sure to snap an extra picture if you're thinking about maybe poshing in the future. I pull all of my photos basically from Instagram.
I'm gonna sell this and use all the photos from today.
All the photos from Poshfest. Nicole, did you have anything to add?
I really just kind of feel the same as Ebony, is that's your first impression, that's your storefront. So although we're operating on a virtual platform, imagine if the same garment were styled similarly in a brick and mortar, you know, like the beautiful storefronts that we see less and less of now. Would you stop? Would you take a picture with your phone? Would it be something that you would make note to yourself, let me come back for this? And if not, revisit it. And, you know, to Ashley's point, try something different until you get to where you're comfortable and you feel confident that your picture is something that would stop somebody in their tracks.
And we could talk about cover shots for hours. And if you're interested in learning more about how to take your cover shot game to the next level, you're in luck, because tomorrow we have a demo called How to Dress Up Your Listings for Success. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. This is a great segue into time management. We all know that taking cover shots can literally take an entire day or an entire lifetime. Ebony, we've talked about how managing Poshmark helps you also manage your days and even your life. What are some time-saving tricks that you rely on to keep organized and efficient?
So let me tell y'all something. Before Poshing, I was worse in time management. I was late to everything. I would forget everything. I could say that running my Posh closet and running my business has taught me time management and has helped me mature more just in that aspect of my life. I managed the crap out of my time because I started looking at time like my time is money. Like, if I'm wasting time, I'm wasting money. So I need to make sure that I know what every hour I'm doing, what every second I'm doing. So I told the ladies before, I normally wake up about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But it kind of just started to happen. I just needed more time. So it just ended up coming in the front end. So I'll wake up in the morning, and those are my times to share. Those are my times to pack my orders. Those are my times to get my descriptions and my measurements together. And then by the time I look up, by the time the post office opens at 9 o'clock, most of my Posh day is over. I take my pictures outside, but I take my pictures when the sun comes up. Guess what? By 12, my day is done. So time management is super duper important. I could take my afternoon to go poshing, to go to doctor's appointments, to go to lunch with my friends and family. So time management is so important. You manage your time if you start looking at your time like money. So that's my biggest tip.
You're so good.
Thank you.
I'm not kidding when I said that these are some awesome seller
We're
stylists.
all like so awesome.
So, hot take, Nicole only poshes from her phone. Yeah. What do you use to save time, and how do you manage to only posh from your phone?
Oh, true story, I've never seen Posh the way that it lives on an iPad or a desktop, because literally since the day I started till present, I haven't had a necessity for anything other than my phone. It's all I know, and that's one of the things that I love so much about this app, is you literally, if you have a smartphone, you have a Posh business. I mean, it's that simple, and it's, you know, I work full time, I have a baby, so again, necessity, being the mother of invention, I use my phone, and if you have an iPhone, and for those of you Android users, I don't know the shortcut, but I'm sure it exists. Exactly. I literally in the notes section of my phone, I have, I have the same format, because I'm, for efficiency's sake, for my listings, so I just have it saved, but rather than even just cutting and pasting it, so like I have one for skirts, one for pants, one's, for blouses, I have a shortcut, it's called Text Expander, and it's in the setting portion of your phone, and I should do like a screenshot by screenshot, which I'll post that to my Insta stories later today, and it literally, I put like semicolon D, so that's for dress, and everything populates. So from that point, I just need to put in like the color, the pertinent details, if there's anything, really special about the piece, and the measurements. So anything you can do to save yourself time, you're saving yourself money. Because like she said, money is time. So it's the only thing that we can't get more of is time. So do yourself a favor and find all the efficiencies and shortcuts that you can. And if you do find them, share them for the rest of us in the community.
Yeah, share the posh love. Nicole, Ashley, did you have anything to add?
I kind of feel the same way as these ladies, and I think if something is taking me a really long time or feels repetitive or feels monotonous, I'll also admit I'm very lazy, so I will think there's got to be a shortcut for this. There has to be a faster way to do this. So I will Google how to do this faster, because you want time back to have other things in your life. You don't want to just like listing stuff and I did the same thing. I'm like, how can I save templates or how can I do this? And just think of ways to save time. And I also get caught up in just endlessly scrolling on Instagram or things like that. So now I'm at where I stop myself and I think if I've been doing something 5-10 minutes, I'm like, has this made me any money? Scrolling through Instagram for 10 minutes, commenting on posts in Facebook groups, that's not making you money. You check in with it, but then just stop and then get back to making your money.
Can I add one quick? One little quick. Okay, so how I manage my time on Instagram. I used to spend a lot of time just scrolling through Instagram, getting caught up in people's first birthdays and things of that nature. I now, on my feed, I only follow other poshers or things that are related to poshing or to being an entrepreneur. So now, if I'm spending that 5-10 minutes, I'm not getting caught up reading drama or reading someone's wedding. I'm now spending most of that time on social media, still following my business. So that's another little hack I want to tell you.
I still haven't hacked Instagram myself, so you can find me just scrolling endlessly in the morning. I check Instagram before I check anything else. Maybe Poshmark. I check Poshmark first. Shameless plug. So we're talking about how time is money, and it absolutely is money. And something that can help you sell more on the platform is sharing. Sharing is caring, Posh love, share, share, share. So the more you share, the more you sell, which brings us to our next topic, packing tips. So ideally, you've had your listing, someone bought it, they're like, oh my God, I want this. You're gonna pack it, send it to your seller. And we all love getting Posh packages in the mail. I know that I forget that I buy things and I get the Posh package and I'm like, oh my God, I wanna see how it gets packaged. So Ashley, you've been poshing for a long time. How has your packing style changed throughout the years?
At first, I didn't know that you could get free supplies from the post office, so I was buying boxes and buying.
No.
I know.
No.
Or stealing them from my office at the time.
Yes.
That's more like it. Then I learned that you can get free shipping supplies, order them online, they'll deliver them to your house, or you can get them at the post office. Then once I learned that, I still started making really pretty packaging and trying to do the cute bows and the handwritten thank you cards. Time is money. That takes too much time. I think they're pretty. I like getting them and the free gifts and all that stuff. And now I get the free gifts and it just goes in the garbage. I don't really use any of that stuff. So I just keep it really simple now. I try to be as efficient as possible, and I package all of my things in inventory bags, and they're all labeled with the inventory number so that I can find it. Now I just slap a thank you sticker over the inventory number, and I stick it in a free mailer or one of the boxes from the post office, and it's still, I know people try to get fancy. If you want to do that, you can do that, but I think as long as people get the item, it's fine. I haven't had any complaints, and you didn't give me a handwritten thank you card. I hate you.
Leave it on the love note. I didn't get a thank you card.
I've heard some people that's happened to, but of all the stuff, nobody said anything about my packaging.
I write them out sometimes, but you don't really write things anymore, and if I have 2 or more sales, my hand by the end of it is just no.
Somebody would probably say, oh, did your daughter write your thank you cards? I don't have kids, but I don't hand write things
That's
anymore.
a great idea.
They probably think I was a kid. If you do have kids, get your kids to do them, and then draw a little picture.
Ebony, so another hot take. You're actually not a huge fan of packing up sales. She said it.
Okay.
What do you do to keep it fun? How do you motivate?
Okay, so kiss, keep it simple, stupid is my thing. Kiss, keep it simple, stupid. Write that down and remember it when y'all are going through this. So, before I used to try to get caught up in the cute tissue paper with the cute ribbons, and I still get nasty, not nasty, but I still might not get might not get 5 stars because a measurement was off or something like that. So I now just make sure that I am more so focused that my descriptions match the outfit, the item, my measurements are correct, and I make sure that my item is clean and presentable. I go to IKEA and I borrow their tissue paper because they got like all of this tissue paper that, you know, is for free. So I might get like a box and I stuff it with the IKEA tissue paper because you have to remember that all the money that you're spending into your Posh packaging, this is also money that's coming out of what you would be getting your earnings. So, you know, kids, keep it simple, stupid. Make sure your item is clean. Make sure you are giving everyone what you said, you're giving your customer what the item is supposed to be. Keep it simple, stupid. I do have a stack of thank you cards, but I don't have time to write. Again, time management. So from this to print, I might have ordered like 500 thank you cards that are branded with my brand, and I send that, and I might have a little bag of candy that I throw in there. But, you know, something to say thank you, because I'm very thankful, but also I don't go overboard.
See, I think candy and the thank you goes overboard. One just says a sticker.
See, but for your closet, do what works for you. If that's excessive for you, if you don't want to spend the money, that's fine. My biggest thing is make sure that your item is clean, make sure that you described it perfectly to the best of your ability, your measurements, things of that nature, and make sure that you are using the free packaging and you're not going to buy the boxes. But, you know, we all have our learning curves.
At USPS and apparently IKEA. So if you got your local IKEA, they're gonna see this and be like, oh my goodness.
I know, they're gonna hide the tissue paper.
They already started.
They already do for her IKEA.
Another thing to know, if you're packaging your sales and you really enjoy putting a lot of time and effort into packing or writing those handwritten notes, do what feels genuine and authentic for you. I know that sometimes I like handwriting them, sometimes I print them out. Sometimes I throw stuff in, it kind of depends on the day, but with your Posh closet, it's your own business, it's your own space, so do what feels right. Some of us might not like to pack things, some of us might put a bow on every single package, and every option and the options between are absolutely your choice. So you go with your bad self. So ideally you're making lots of sales, but one of the big things is getting your listing seen by potential buyers. So there are a ton of tips on how to get shine on your closet. I think we briefly touched on keywords, but Nicole, could you kind of expand upon how you use keywords?
So I think that one of the things that I see most often that is an opportunity with newer postures is that they're not fully utilizing the keywords. You know, they'll have this gorgeous like little black dress and they write pretty black dress, which is true, but think about when you're personally shopping. Do you put in the Google search bar pretty black dress, or do you know what flatters your figure best and say, for me I like fit and flare, so I might put black fit and flare, vintage style, retro, cocktail party, all the things that I think you mentioned this when we spoke earlier that would occur to you for wear cues or that you would search using. Utilize those words and use as many as you can, because another hack, well, it's not even a hack, it's just like a gotta do it, is Posh gives us the ability for our listings to be Google searchable. However, that isn't the default setting, so you do need to go into your account settings and make sure that your Posh closet is Google searchable, because especially as we roll into the holidays and more people are maybe hopping online and looking for outfits, not that they weren't already, but you really want to make sure that you're capturing all those people, because there's literally hundreds of millions of people on the web, and you can have all the greatest things in the world, but if you don't have that Google search turned on, you're not capitalizing on them. So again, turn that on, use the same words that you would use to search something, and think about where cues, even that maybe aren't, everyday ones. Like I learned a few months ago, modest is a really great one. I don't necessarily search things using that, but I noticed when I added it to my longer hems and higher necklines and things that were in fact more modest, that I got more, sales, and I'm constantly learning from other listings, other poshers, so use all the words, pretty black dress needs to be more than a pretty black dress, and also occasion cues, like I alluded to earlier, the cocktail party, wedding, Coachella, festival, anything that truly fits what you're listing, throw it in there. It's a potential for more eyes on that listing, so definitely take advantage of any and all of the keywords that are pertinent to the piece you're listing.
There are also a ton of opportunities to get your items showcased in the app. So there are the daily Posh parties. How many of you guys know what a Posh party is? Ooh, yes. And how many of you are sharing to the Posh parties? Amazing. So that's one opportunity, and also showrooms. Is anyone familiar with showrooms in app? So showrooms are collections of merchandise, content, like think of jean jackets or Levi's jean jackets. That would all be available in a showroom, so you want to make sure you're tagging your items with the appropriate brands and what it is so that it populates in all those places in app. So now that we've talked about Posh parties and showrooms, Ashley, what advice would you give someone who's just starting on how to use showrooms and Posh parties?
First, I would share to all the parties, relevant ones. If it's workwear, you don't want to try to share your bathing suits. Well, unless you're a surfer, that's work. I don't know. Just sharing relevant things and trying to be a part of the different parties. The way that I use the showrooms is as research and seeing what's in the showrooms and what they are, because those are the trends that are happening, those are brands that are happening, and also look at what brands are in the different parties. That's when people are like, what brands should I sell? What should I sell on Poshmark? That's the first thing I say, that's the best place to start. What brands are being featured in the parties and what brands are being featured in those showrooms, and getting those and putting those in your closets and sharing them to the relevant parties, because that's getting more eyeballs to your closet.
Ebony, did you have anything to add?
The showrooms and the parties are so dope for sourcing. Girls, let me tell y'all, and fellas, let me tell y'all, every day, what is it, the first party? See, I'm on the East Coast, so our first party comes at 12. On the West Coast, I believe it comes at like 9. But it'll tell you what's hot and what's popping. So you might see the Coach, the Michael Kors. Well, I'll screenshot those lists of what the brands is, and then I'll go to when I'm sourcing to the thrift stores and I'm looking for those brands, because if Poshmark is putting it as a main party, they're telling you that these are brands that people are searching and buying. Maybe I should stock my closet up with these brands.
Maybe. Probably. So now we're going to our last topic, which is, not really my favorite. My favorite would probably be Posh parties, or like live Posh parties, maybe Poshfest. Compliancy. So knowing the do's and don'ts of Poshmark can be a huge game changer for your business and just for your experience. Nicole, could you tell us what you wish you knew when you were starting out on the platform?
This is such a loaded topic. I think that if more people just took the couple of minutes to read the little blurb, I don't know what screen is even on, but it pops up when you sign up about the do's and don'ts. That would be amazing. But, I think that you attract more attention long-term to your closet when you are compliant, and something that specifically for me, I think is big, because I'm not only a Posh seller, but I'm a Posh buyer, is when people mistag brands, it makes me a little crazy. You may have a dress that has kind of a Kate Spade feel to it, but please don't, indicate that that's the brand when in fact it's from Forever 21. Like, I appreciate the hustle, but you're just gonna tick people off in the end. So, doing the correct branding, selling the correct items, because, to a certain extent, my closet certainly isn't perfect. I don't profess that it is. But it's definitely compliant, and it does have a feel. I think when you start throwing in like the DVD that your husband said you could sell, like find the platform that belongs on, because newsflash, it's not Posh. You know, and you know, other items that aren't necessarily compliant, it starts to cheapen your brand, and you know, your brand and your look is everything. So just kind of be cognizant of that and resist the urge, even if you're like, I know this will sell and it'll sell quick. You know, I got this Victoria's Secret body spray. The reason that some things aren't compliant, like said Victoria's Secret body spray, is because they're flammable. And when you take your stuff to the post office and you kind of go on autopilot and they ask you those questions, does this have anything liquid, fragile, hazardous, flammable? Yes, 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 on the Victoria's Secret body spray. So that's why we can't sell that kind of stuff. Not because Posh doesn't, you know, like people to smell nice, but because it's literally not compliant with USPS standards. So, you know, there's always a rationale behind why things are or are not compliant, and just stay in the lane. There's so much that you can sell that is compliant. I would just, again, stay in that lane and get it.
We have a few minutes left, so ladies, do you have anything else to add on that hot topic of compliancy?
Yes. No, I think a lot of people don't really, like I think the biggest ones are perfume and nail polish, like not knowing that. They're like, well, it's beauty, but the reasons why you can't sell it. And also, you should find the DVDs and all of that. People will still post that stuff, but if you post those things, other poshers aren't going to share your closet. So I know a lot of us love doing community shares. I will admit, I'll go to somebody's closet. If you have non-compliant items, even you can share my closet, you can share 100 things. Thank you, God bless you. But I'm not going to come back and share your closet. So not only are you selling things that aren't compliant that you could get in trouble on Posh, but you're not going to get any of those community shares if people see that in your closet.
I would like to add, not only will you not get your community shares, but other poshers are looking at your closet. They're seeing that you have these items that you're not supposed to be selling, and they're going to report you. Well, after being reported, it's literally, and they're going to check back in a day or two to make sure it's gone. And so after being reported, after being reported for a while, you're now at risk of losing your business because your page can get shut down. So read the rules, read them, and stay compliant. Because you know what's funny about Posh is that we keep changing the markets a little bit. So maybe one day something that wasn't accepted before will be. Like we now have a new home market, so a lot of things in home wasn't accepted before. But just stay on top of what the markets are allowing, what is not allowing, and you make more friends than enemy, because you really don't want everybody coming to your page and reporting.
And if you have any questions on what's allowed on the platform, you can check out our FAQ page or email support@poshmark.com. Another shameless plug. Thank you all so much for joining us. I think we know that being true to your style and authentic, if you follow these tips and try to be compliant, so I don't want to see nail polish in any of your closets. If you keep these in mind, you'll be a Posh boss in no time. Thank you so much for joining us.